archives and programs that stream 24/7 from our website. You can find out how at AmericanRoots.org. I'm Nick Spitzer. This is American Roots. We're touring Alabama with a stop here in Mobile, the colonial city of Catholic, French, Spanish, and African history that shares as much or more with the Gulf Coast culture of New Orleans as upstate Alabama. That includes parade bands at Mardi Gras like the Excelsior Brass. The tune is St. Louis Blues by W.C. Handy. We'll hear about his music and legacy in a moment, plus one of his tunes played by Louis Armstrong. And we'll visit the Hank Williams boyhood home and hear songs by Shelby Lynn, Drive-By Truckers, and the Blind Boys of Alabama. W.C. Handy, a classically trained musician, was one of the foremost composers of the blues, catching and collecting the sounds of everyday African-American life. He wrote Beale Street Blues, Memphis Blues, and of course, St. Louis Blues, earning himself the title Father of the Blues. This is how he sounded with his band in 1922. Handy was not from St. Louis or Memphis. He was from Florence, Alabama, right across the Tennessee River from Muscle Shoals. And every year in his hometown, the W.C. Handy Festival celebrates his life with blues, gospel, and jazz. To find Handy's memory in Florence, we started at the Greater St. Paul AME Church, Handy's home congregation.
My name is Dwight Winston, and when Handy first started playing spiritual music, he actually started kind of jazzing it up a little bit, and it wasn't permitted in the church, and that's why he decided to go off and do that type of music. Jazz music is actually implemented into the church.
What is special about this particular evening?
It's really special because the event is here at Handy's church, at his grandfather's church, and a lot of people didn't know that Handy his roots are in the church, and it makes it more important that we're starting in the church. There are a lot of other events going on that consist of jazz and blues and other things that he did, but because he was so strong in church music, this means a lot to us to be able to present this and to present it in his church.
Oh, my name is Virginia Hill. And I've been singing with the Quad Cities Mass Choir for about 19 years. And we enjoyed singing and praising God together as a family. And every year the Handy Fest is in Florence, Alabama. We have a gathering at Handy's church that is of all colors, denomination, here, far, near, Florence, all the way to California. I mean, they just come to the Handy Fest. And they love to come, I guess, and hear the Quad Cities Mass Choir, because we always have a choir.
What goes through your mind when people are singing up there and someone's catching the spirit in the room and you see all those different kinds of people out there?
To me, it's a blessing because you know that somehow or another God's Spirit is working not only in us, but it's touching other people also, and that's what it's all about.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Blind Mississippi Morris, and I'm in Florence, Alabama.
Now, you're here at the W.C. Handy Festival. Why are you here at W.C. Handy?
Well, we enjoy playing down here. We got a lot of good friends down here, and, good fans, too. They are loyal followers, and they treat us like we, been here all our life, and we appreciate that,
But why do you think blues continues to appeal to people? Educated, not educated, whatever. Rich, poor, black, white, into the 21st century. Why is blues still important to people?
Well, everybody has them, believe it or not. Everybody got the blues. I don't care whether you're black, white, green, or blue, you know? You might not can express it like I do because you're not living in the situation that I'm living in. You have to express it from your side of the street.
Got places up and down, bouncing around. We got music on the streets, bumping down the town. We're going, yeah, we're going to Beale Street tonight. We're gonna party all night. Oh, maybe we're gonna do it right.
My name is Janice Skipworth, and I'm from here in Florence.
So you just had to bring the family down?
Always. And the good thing about the Handy Festival is the whole family can enjoy it, you know. So that makes it nice. You don't have to get a babysitter or anything. Everybody's just out to have a good time. So
the blues is your babysitter tonight.
that's right. Absolutely. Absolutely.
I'm here to tell you, y'all, Florence has got it going on. Boogie woogie.
Ever since Susan Johnson lost her Jockey Lee, there has been much excitement and more to be. You can hear her morning, night, and morn. Yes, I wonder where my easy rider's gone. Now cablegrams come of sympathy, telegrams go of inquiry, letters come from Alabama and everywhere that Uncle Sam has even a rural delivery. All day the phone rings, but it's not for me. And at last, good tidings fill our hearts with glee. And this message come all the way from Tennessee. It's what it said. Dear Sue, you're easy rider struck this bird today on a southbound rattler, a side door Pullman car. Yes, see him here, and he was on the hall. I said, easy riders gotta stay away, so he had to vamp it, but the hike ain't far. He's gone where the Southern Cross to Yellow Dog.
lived our little drama. We kissed in a field of white, and stars fell on Alabama last night. I can't forget the glamour. Your eyes held a tender light, and stars fell on Alabama last night. I never planned in my imagination a situation so heavenly, a fairyland where no one else could enter, and in the center, just you and me, dear. My heart beat like a hammer, my arms wound around you tight, and stars fell on Alabama last night. We lived our little drama. We kissed in a field of white, and stars fell on Alabama last night. I can't forget the glamour. Your eyes held a tender light, and stars fell on Alabama last night. I never planned in my imagination a situation so heavenly, a fairyland where no one else could enter, and in the center, just you and me, dear. My heart beat like a hammer, my arms wound around you tight, and stars fell on Alabama last night.
Billie Holiday singing the love song written by Frank Perkins and Mitchell Parrish, Stars Fell on Alabama. That title taken from a meteor shower that lit up the night sky in 1833 and now found on the state license plate. Before that, Louis Armstrong with W.C. Handy's composition Yellow Dog Blues, recorded while Handy listened with tears of joy at the 1954 session. Handy said that he first heard the blues while waiting for a train in 1903. It was a line he heard on the platform that inspired Yellow Dog Blues. So many jazz greats come from Alabama. Lionel Hampton, Erskine Hawkins, Sun Ra, and Nat King Cole. And there's also a history of jazz musicians touring through the state. Here's New Orleans piano professor Jelly Roll Morton recollecting his visits east to Mobile just after the turn of the century on American Roots.
When I was down on the Gulf Coast in 1904, I missed going to the St. Louis Exposition to get in a piano contest, which was won by Alfred Wilson of New Orleans. I was very much disgusted because I thought I should have gone. I thought Tony Jackson was going to be there, and of course that kind of frightened me. But I knew I could have taken Alfred Wilson. So then I decided that I would travel about different little spots. That is what. So we happened to truck down to Mobile. At that time, I was supposed to be a very good pool player, and I could slip upon a lot of people playing pool because I played piano, and they thought I devoted all my time to the piano. So we got in Alabama bound, and the frequent saying was, any place that you was going, why, you were supposed to be bound for that place. So in fact, we was Alabama bound. When I got there, I wrote this tune called Alabama Bound. It goes this way. I'm Alabama bound, Alabama bound. If you like me, sweet baby, you gotta leave this town. When that rooster crows, when the hen ran around, if you want my love, sweet babe, you got to run me down. She said, don't you leave me here. Don't leave me here. But sweet papa, if you just must go, leave a dime for beer. I said, sweet mama, babe, sweet mama, babe, if you must stay, I'll be gone for days and days.
Got a wife, got a family, earn my living with my hand. My rolling is still downtown Birmingham. My daddy was a barber, the most unsightly man. He was born in Tuscaloosa, died right here in Birmingham. Birmingham, Birmingham, the greatest city in Alabama. You can travel across this entire land. There ain't no place like Birmingham. Wife's named Mary, but she's called Marie. live in a three-room house with a pepper tree. I work all day in the factory. That's all right with me. Got a big black dog, his name is Dan. Live in my backyard in Birmingham. It's the meanest dog in Alabama. Get him, Dan. Birmingham, Birmingham, greatest city in Alabama. You can travel across this entire land. There ain't no place like Birmingham.
Hey everybody, this is Shelby Lynn, and you're listening to American Roots. Music was as much a part of us as taking a breath. You know, we sang with our mama going to school and coming home every day in the car. That's how we learned how to sing harmonies. It was really natural to us, and it was always a drive, and we grew up in the country, Frankville, Alabama, which is surrounded by nothing but timberland and pasture land and real simple life. Heaven knows this ain't no Margaret Mitchell, where the oak tree meets the pines. I know it might sound kinda simple, Lord, but it's mine, oh, it's mine. Thought I heard a log man cutting timber down a Mississippi line. I'm up the old Tombigbee River, high as a pines all the time. Elle gomme les bateaux passants, ben on la flotte avec du vent. All I'm trying to say is I'm never far away from Alabama frame of mind. Jubilation rising on the bayou, celebration in the wind. Father Pat gives benediction across the Coden Bridge again. Crickets spreading rumors by the shoreline, with the lonesome lady wine. The crab trap full of nothing, I'm high as a tide all the time. Elle gomme les bateaux passants, ben on la flotte avec du vent. All I'm trying to say is I'm never far away from Alabama frame of mind. All I'm trying to say is I'm never gonna stray from
Shelby Lynn, the Alabama native, singing Where I'm From, part of what she calls the Alabama frame of mind. She wrote that when she was living down in the French-influenced area on Mobile Bay near the shrimp fishing town called Bayou La Batterie. You know, nowadays she's a popular chanteuse based out in Palm Springs. We also heard the Los Angeles songman and sometime Gulf Coastian Randy Newman with his fictional depiction of everyday life in Birmingham, Alabama, from that enduring concept album Good Old Boys from 1972. In a moment, we'll get on the Lost Highway with Hank Williams and Drive By Truckers when American Roots returns. I'm Nick Spitzer. This is American Roots. Our visit to the boyhood home of Alabama and America's greatest country singer and songwriter, Hank Williams, is coming up. But first, we're headed out on the Lost Highway. Here's Hank in 1949 on American Roots.
I'm a rolling stone, all alone and lost. For a life of sin, I have paid the cost. When I pass by, all the people say, just another guy on the lost highway. Just a deck of cards and a jug of wine, and a woman's life makes a life like mine. Oh, the day we met, I went astray. I started rolling down that lost highway. I was just a lad, nearly 22, neither good nor bad, just a kid like you. And now I'm lost, too late to pray. Lord, I paid the cost on the lost highway. Now, boys, don't start you rambling around on this road of sin, or you're sorrow bound. Take my advice, or you'll curse the day you started rolling down that lost highway.
Well, here I am again down in Montgomery, Alabama. My luck ain't never been up
down. So all of you people don't look at me and frown. I don't want to stay here and I'm just passing through your town. And I've just come back here to see an old stained window pane. Before you tear it all down and bring out your crane. And I wanted to see Montgomery in the rain. Around the streets and old houses, a lot of changes I've been through. From the top of the town to washing cars and being down out in blue. And I once met a woman here with ways like I'd never seen. And I used to love to ramble between here and New Orleans. So I've just come back here to remember a joy and a pain, and look back to a year through a tear and an old window pane. And I wanted to see Montgomery in the rain. So you don't have to hide your baby, you don't have to go get no gun. I know I look funny to you all, honey, but I'm just one who was once from here, now who's come back again. And I ain't asking for nothing but my song in a cemetery wind. 'Cause if it's alright with you, before I get back on my train, I wanna go out by Hank's tombstone and cry me up a thunderstorm chain. 'Cause I didn't wanna see Montgomery in the
Anybody that's ever been on it knows exactly where they're at. There's hills on both ends of it, nowhere's in between, and this highway's mean. Seems like it's always hot down here, no matter when you come. It's the kind of heat that holds you like a mama holds her son. Tight when it tries to walk, even tighter if it runs. It's a mean old dusty highway, but it's the only one that'll get me there. this feeling that I had. It's always led the way down here. You're running from a broken heart to a heart that you gotta break on this mean old highway. On this mean old
'72, This Highway's Mean, from Drive-By Truckers. Their album Southern Rock Opera uses the story of Leonard Skinner as a metaphor for cultural changes in the South in the 1970s. Band founders Patterson Hood, the son of bassist David Hood, and Mike Cooley are both from around Muscle Shoals. Before Drive-By Truckers, we heard Southern singer-songwriter Steve Young and Montgomery in the Rain, his paean to memories of youth and Hank Williams. Steve Young was actually born in Georgia and traveled the South, including Alabama. And you may know him for his songs like Seven Bridges Road and Lonesome, Ornery, and Mean. In a moment, we'll visit the boyhood home of Hank Williams in our final act of Alabama Bound on American Roots. I'm Nick Spitzer, and this is American Roots. On the trail of Hank Williams.
Well, I left my home down on the rural route. I told my pa I'm going stepping out and get the honky-tonk blues. Hey, the honky-tonk blues. Hey, Lord, I got 'em. I got the honky-tonk blues.
Hank Williams lived the kind of sad and tough life that he sang about in his songs. Williams was 16 when he dropped out of school to tour with the band The Driftin' Cowboys. By his 20s, he was the toast of country music, but he struggled with drugs and alcohol and divorced his wife Audrey twice. Hank Williams was just 29 when he was found dead in the backseat of his Cadillac en route to a gig on New Year's Day, 1953. Since then, Hank Williams' legend, bolstered by all those amazing, intense songs, has only continued to grow. So much so that the central Alabama town of Georgiana has turned one of the houses where Williams lived into a museum.
I am Margaret Gaston, and we're at the Hank Williams Boyhood Home Museum in Georgiana. I've had people to come in who said, Hank actually walked on this floor. Yes, he did. You mean I'm walking where Hank walked? Yes, you are. Isn't that neat?
Why don't you take us through a little bit and show us what you've got?
Love to.
Darling, let's turn back the years and go back to yesterday. Let's pretend that
guess if we were to begin at the beginning, we'd begin at this baby picture.
Yeah, right. Chubby little fellow, wasn't he?
Considering how skinny he was later in life.
He grew up to be quite skinny, but he was a chubby little fellow there.
How old was Hank when he moved here?
He was 7 years old.
And how long did he live here?
4 years, from 1930 until the latter part of 1934.
Here's a 1934-35 class picture.
That's Hank. He's the fourth from the right.
He's got big ears, doesn't he?
He did not like his big ears, but yeah, you can tell who that is because it's Hank.
It's a beautiful house. It's got high ceilings and molding, and it's a lovely house.
Lovely old home. And the man that owned the house was named Thaddeus B. Rose. He was the mayor of Georgiana, and he was also the depot agent for the L&N Railroad. He built this house on the raised cottage style that he saw in New Orleans when he was traveling back and forth from New Orleans to Georgiana.
You know, I look at a house like this with its beautiful porch and the awnings and the sort of peaceful grounds and the lovely old halls and floors and walls, and it seems like almost a strange contrast to the hard life that Hank lived on stage and with all the problems with alcohol, and obviously his life ended very early for all of his talent. Does that ever cross your mind that here is this peaceful spot and there's that world out there?
It does. I won't say that it was free of stress and strife and want, because this was a depression when Hank was growing up. There was not much money, but there was family. And there was a roof over your head and food to eat and clothes to wear. And everybody was practically in the same boat.
Tonight down here in the valley, I'm lonesome and oh, how I feel as I sit here alone in my cabin. I can see a mansion on the hill.
In this room, we have a lot of Hank's radio sponsors, the Duckhead Overalls, the Johnny Fair syrup. He actually saved that company when he was on Louisiana Hayride. They sponsored him on his radio programs, 15-minute radio shows, while he was on Louisiana Hayride, and he helped save that Johnny Fair syrup company.
Hear my song as I ride along, I'm just a happy roving cowboy.
And then the Hattacall Caravan was something that took place in 1952, you know.
Well, howdy, neighbor. It's health and happiness time with the old lovesick blues boy, Hank Williams, Miss Audrey, and all the Drifting Cowboys. Yes, our singing sensation, Hank Williams, is back again with some good news that'll make you mighty glad you tuned in.
Well, I ain't got a dime just a wasting my time. I'm just a happy roving cowboy. Let me sing this song till they call me home to a land beyond the blue.
Do you have any favorite pictures of all the black and whites and images on the walls?
Now, this is one of my favorite, and this was on Louisiana Hayride shortly before Hank died. He was sick at the time, but anyway, even though he was not in the best of health, he just looks like he's having a great time to me.
Jambalaya, a crawfish pie, and a filet gumbo. 'Cause tonight I'm gonna see Mama Shazamio. Pick guitar, fill fruit jar, and be gay. Son of a gun, we'll have big fun on the bayou.
Look, here he is on the Opry with Minnie Pearl, Red Foley, Eddie Arnold, Roy Acuff, of course. Now, when I look at these pictures of Hank, Audrey, and the Drifting Cowboys, and I can't help but wonder how do you understand his relationship to Audrey these days, all these years later?
Well, I really don't know. He didn't talk very much. He just expressed himself in song.
He's got some pretty tough, tortured songs.
He has, and I'm sure that came about from some of the times that he and Audrey were on the Alps, and some of the times when they were not.
I'm gonna find me a river, one that's cold as ice. And when I find me that river, Lord, I'm gonna pay the price. Oh,
Lord. I'm going down in it 3 times, but Lord, I'm only coming up twice. She's long gone, and now I'm lonesome blue.
Now, what room are we in here?
We're in the one that we have as a bedroom. And, of course, the bed was donated by a family that lived here. They were newlyweds that lived in this house at the same time Hank and his mother and sister lived here.
Do you think Hank ever slept in this room?
We don't know. In one of the biographies that I read about Hank, someone asked him which room was his when they lived here, and he said the one closest to the railroad track.
Any way you cut it, he would be able to hear that lonesome whistle blow.
You could hear that lonesome whistle because there's the track right out there. And at the time that Hank and his mother and sister lived here, there were 23 passenger trains in a 24-hour period, plus all the freight trains. It was a busy little track out there.
I was riding number 9, heading south from Caroline. I heard that long wow, wow, some whistle blow. Got in trouble, had to roam, left my gal and left my home. I heard that long wow, wow, some whistle blow.
When I walked outside the Hank Williams boyhood home, I realized that those trains still roll by. And then I thought, not all of Hank's train songs are sad. Here's a cross-country favorite of mine, Pan American on American Roots.
I have heard your stories about your fast trains, but now I'll tell you about one all the southern folks have seen. She's the beauty of the Southland.